Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Cilantro. Welcome to my play-along tutorial, episode 3. We are just on the verge of going to war with Kandar. At the end of last episode, we were looking into exactly how and why you should attack your neighbors and the ways of making sure that you're doing so safely and effectively. There are a few other little bits of information we're probably going to want to gather before we actually go to war. But for now, we're just going to let the time tick. We're still sitting on the verge of a rebellion, and I would like to deal with this problem before we deal with any potential wars. We have a few other rebellions that may potentially pop up, but I think for now the biggest and scariest one is the Byzantine rebellion here. So I'm just going to let time run for a little bit longer and see if we can get it to pop here. So 6% chance of it progressing by 10% each month. Looks like it's about to revolt in 1.3 years. All right, so we got another benefit here. Ooh, all green or all green. Well, by default, we're taking the top one. Bam! What did that give us? Cool stuff. Who knows? It was all green. Awesome. We got stuff. No idea what that stuff is, but we got it. Okay, so you can actually see here, looks like whatever it was gave us some more stability, which I'll go into at some other time. And you can see here, Athena is only 4.4%. So hey, that helped us against our rebel problems. And actually, you know what? I'd like to put this one down if I can't help it. Achaean separatist in Balibadra. Where is that? Bam! Balibadra is right there. So let's take our third army and head over there and start working on that one and say, hey guys, you shouldn't really rebel. That's not really a good idea. Probably shouldn't do that. You can see overall the unrest is quite well mitigated. It's very likely that this is going to appear anyway at some point, sometime within the next 2 years. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. That's okay. We're still recovering our manpower. You can always use the excuse that you're recovering manpower, and it's a good idea to have as much manpower as you can get. Oh, we just got another pop-up here. Okay. Nation of Tunis, your faithful ally, these guys, is requesting that you come to their aid in the Tunisian conquest of Ghadams against Jared and Mazab. This is a war they have started. Jared is allied with the Mamluks and Mazab. So, if we accept, that means we get pulled into this war and we're expected to help fight. If we don't, we're going to lose prestige. That's a big red thing. So we want to avoid red things. So, what the heck? We're just going to accept. That's fine. We may not ever end up actually fighting anything. In fact, you can even see, for whatever reason, they're already drastically winning this war with 88%. Apparently the Mamluks never actually joined the war. So whatever they're doing, which I can tell you that this is happening over here, all this stuff, I'm just going to let them do it. That's fine. That's no big deal. I don't want to lose prestige. I don't know what prestige is, but it's pretty sweet, so I don't want to lose it. So I'm just going to let them do that and say, hey, we showed up. Look at that. We're in this war, man. Yeah, we're helping out. We're totally awesome. Hey, look at that. They just took peace. All right, that worked out pretty well. So we have some truce notifications and so on. Oh! Just converted some heretics. Excellent. All right, let's convert another province here. Pretty quick and easy to do. Bam! We're converting them to our religion. They will all believe what we believe. We're a religion of peace, which is why we go to places and force them to join our religion. Yeah. All right, so we have Kandar still on the verge of being attacked here. We just got another new pop-up. And here's some more pop-ups. We don't know what these are, but we're just going to accept them because they're cool sort of tan pop-ups. So what's this one? You can invest in new technology. The following technologies can be invested in military technology. All right, let's click on that. So this is how you technologically progress through the game. There's 3 different categories of technology, just as there are 3 different categories of monarch points. So it is telling us that we have access to the next military technology. Pike Square. So this will give us military tactics. Don't know what those are. Land morale. Probably has to do with morale and fighting. Are these good? Are these bad? Well, they're both green, so I would certainly think that's a good thing to have. You can see researching military technology will cost 748 military power. We already have enough. Yeah, let's just do it. We click on that. Researching Pike Square will cost 748 military power. Okay. So we just spent all of our military power, and bam, we have progressed technologically. We're now military level 4. Yeah. 33% cooler than we ever were. That is not bad. Alrighty. Things are going pretty well. Things are going pretty well. Excellent. So Athena, 3.8% chance. Yeah. Pretty unlikely that it's going to end up actually causing us any problems, but it might. It might. So I'm feeling a little trigger happy here, and I think I just want to go ahead and go to war. I'm feeling like the time has come to just go for it. And actually, you can see here, this might be a good opportunity. Kandar and Ramazan are actually in 2 wars already. When you mouse over it, you can see they're actually already at war. So if we don't attack now, we may end up not having the opportunity to take this land at all. So let's think about this for a little bit. We want to take their land as safely and easily as possible. We still have the potential for rebels to pop up, so that's something we have to be concerned about. Let's take a look at the provinces that are most likely to cause us problems. So, Atina, still causing us some issues. We have 12 troops there. So why don't we just leave our troops on Atina, 12 of them, and use these troops to go conquer our goals here. So, I'm going to look at the Diplomacy tab. I'm going to click on Declare War. Verify that we have a Casus Belli, always important. They're going to call in their ally. That's completely fine. We have all this information. There's no red text here at all saying that anything bad is going to happen. So I think it's time. Let's go. So I'm going to send this group of troops to their capital, which you can see via the fort that has a crown on it. And I'm going to send this group of troops to the other province that they have. And we're just going to siege them down. Now, the reason I'm jumping on this is if we didn't, there would be a chance that they would get taken over by somebody else, and we really want this land. We can always get this land later, and it's going to be hard for us to get that in the first place, but we want this land for sure. All right, likewise, let's take our navy and go help with this potential fight here. So I'm going to move my navy over to this area, so it is now going to affect the combat. Oh, hey, we got another technology pop up. Diplomatic technology. Yeah, let's do it. We're now more diplomatically technological. What does that mean? Who knows? It means we're cooler. Got some more pop-ups. Okay. I don't know what that means, but we're taking it. Hey, we want to fight. How did we get in a fight? Who cares? We're playing the game and it's fun. We're just clicking through everything. Going through the motions. Alright, looks like the siege is going on. That's good. Excellent. Get on there. Okay. We are taking over this property. Good, good, good. Just remember, if you're seeing any black pop-ups, just hit OK on them. They're probably not super important. If you see any sort of scroll-like pop-ups, just take the top option if none of them have green stuff. Or if they all have green stuff. Take anything that gives green. You want green. Green is good. Alright, we are now sieging this province. You can see we have negative 21% chance to succeed. We have all this cool little information. It's not super important. Just know that the longer you have people in a fight, the more likely it is you're going to be able to siege the province down. That's all you need to know. Actually, one other important thing, you do have to have enough troops to handle a siege. Generally, at the beginning of the game, as long as you have about 10 troops for any given fight, you have plenty enough to actually siege it. Later on, that number goes up, but naturally your armies are going to be much larger at that point anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, we won the siege. Hooray! So it'd be nice to be able to come down here and actually take over this place as well. But it looks like it's actually already being sieged by somebody else. So there's not really a good chance we're going to be able to take that. So that's fine. It's a little out of our way anyway. We kind of have these other places that are acting as sort of a buffer here. Not really a big deal. Hey, we finished converting another place to our religion. Hooray! Sunni for everybody. Gonna send our guy off. No problem. We're good to go. Alright, we have some other CBs popping up. Apparently something happened over here. What is it? Who cares? Alright, so here's a new pop-up. Defender of the Faith. We can become the Defender of the Faith. This is a big thing having to do with religion. It's pretty interesting and has some tactical benefits. In fact, it gives you a lot of stuff if you become Defender of the Faith. Unfortunately, it gives you a lot of obligations as well, so for the purposes of this game, we're not going to take it. We don't want to be Defender of the Faith. That's not something we're interested in. So I'm interested to see what happens when these guys actually take this over. We may actually be able to get what we want right now. Let's go ahead and pause and bring up the war screen here. So we want this land, and we want all your money, and they will not accept that. Most likely because they still have an ally in the war. They're saying, okay, you know, yes, you've conquered us, but our ally is still alive. Granted, they're probably not going to be alive very much longer, due to the fact that they're also being sieged down by somebody else. But just for future reference, you know, the more people in a fight, the more likely it's going to be difficult for you to win that fight. Okay, so improve relations with Akolinu. So our mission has completed. We have our reputation with them up to 100. Okay, let's take a new mission. Let's see here. The rival of our rival, Conquer Kaffa. I don't know what any of these are. Naval race versus the Mamelukes. Sure, sounds like a good time to talk about making ships, so let's take that one. I will take that mission indeed. Alright, so yeah, let's build some ships. So, similar to the Army screen, there is a Navy screen where you can use it to make ships. There are 4 different categories of ships. They all have their different uses. You can kind of see what their combat stats are here. The first number, I believe, is their hull size. Then you have number of cannons, and then ship movement. So it gives you some ideas. The bigger the ship, the more dangerous it is in combat for the most part. The bottom ones are transports. These are heavy ships. These are like big warships. They're very expensive. Barks are light ships. They're decent in combat, and they have some other kind of cool effects, but I don't want to go into those right now. I just want to make some galleys. Galleys are sort of the standard, regular combat ship, so we're just going to make some galleys. So similar to the other interface that we saw, we have this one. We can make some ships here. Do note that this has a separate force limit. It does have a force limit. It's based on how many naval provinces you have. The Army force limit is different than the naval force limit. So I want to build up to my force limit. So I have 24 out of 35, so let's build 9 galleys. Where are we going to build them? Well, wherever we want to. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, we're building 9 ships. That's going to take us up to 33. Let's go all the way up to the maximum. There we go. So we're going to go up to 35 ships. Excellent. You can see how many we have in production. No problem. We've got that done. Interesting thing about making ships is that ships do not take manpower. You can have as big of a navy as you want, and if you just lose the ships, then you lose the ship, and you actually have to rebuild the ship, not the people that man the ship. So that's kind of nice. So Army takes manpower, Navy does not. So that is pretty cool. Looks like the siege is still going on. So even in war, there are times of waiting. Okay, so we just had somebody announce this as a rival, no big deal. Getting some more pop-ups, cool. We're just always accepting those. Whatever they are, we just want them. Unless it's somebody asking to get out of a war, in which case, no, that comes on our terms. Something I covered in the very first episode, if I recall correctly. Looks like those rebels are getting even closer and closer to popping. So why don't we do this? We have these places completely under control. So I would actually feel comfortable just moving my troops back to help deal with these potential revolts. So let's see where all they're potentially gonna pop up. So Atina is still the biggest culprit, and then Balabadara as well, still a pretty big culprit. So let's move these guys over to here, and let's move these guys into Atina. And at worst, what will happen is if the rebels do appear, they will appear right there, and my troops are already there, ready to deal with any problems. So even if we do get troops popping up there, we're still going to be in good shape. It's been a little bit too, so let's take a look at the peace screen and see if we can now get what we want. Make sure we're adjusting the money to make sure we're getting all of it. And yeah, with them still having their ally in the fight, looks like there's no way they're going to give up quite yet. But that's okay. We've got all the time in the world. The Ottoman Empire is timeless. Not really, but sure. Alright, so that'll hopefully help deal with it. And notice we don't have a skull here, so this place can actually support that many troops. And actually, I'll just go ahead and show you here. There's actually a little bit of information here in the province screen. Any province you click on has a supply limit, and that's how many troops, that's how many thousand troops you can position there without having any attrition issues. So Atina has a supply limit of 27. We have 22 troops in there, so we're fine. So let's take a look at our separatism and see how things are going here. Belbadara is 3.2%, Byzantine's 1.7%. So we're definitely doing a good job of stopping those from happening. Okay, and you can see that siege is now finally over. So let's see if we can now get what we want. Nope. They're still interested in keeping the fight, even though they've basically lost it. So there's another thing you can potentially do. Let me see if it might actually be viable. So when you have 2 people in a fight, if you are the war leader, you can actually talk to somebody else and say, hey, I know you're in this fight helping these guys out, but come on. You really want to help these guys out? They're kind of losers. So let's try doing that. Let's talk to Adana. Adana, Ramazan, the Ramazan in the province of Adana is not the war leader. So let's talk to just them. So make sure you click on their province, one that they own, and we'll try to sue for peace. So you can see here, even though we haven't really fought them at all, they're like, all right, well, you know what? I've got other things going on. Let's just take a peace. And you may be able to get some stuff, maybe not. But if you do this, they'll just say, okay, well, that's fine. I don't want to be in this fight anymore. So we'll do that. I'll just talk to them and say, hey, get out of this war. We don't want you here anymore. Generally, this option becomes available if they have low war enthusiasm, but you can just check at any time, and there's a chance that they may be willing to get out. So making sure that we're talking to just them, and you can even see it right here. We negotiate on behalf of our entire alliance, and they are merely negotiating for themselves. So yes, we only want to talk to them. We just want them out of the war, so we're going to do that. And bam, they're out of the war. And look at that. Now our war score is 100%. These guys are like, oh, crap, we don't have any allies anymore. So now it's time to get what we want. We want to take all of their money, make sure we have all of their money, we have all of their land. We demand their full annexation. There's one more thing that I want to point out in this screen. It's something you're not going to likely run into for quite some time unless you're really being super aggressive about things. And that's something called aggressive expansion. So not only do we have to deal with the potential of overextension, that is our own country feeling like we're attacking too many things, but overextension is the feeling that other countries get when you're attacking too many things. And that is this stat right here. This will cause the Ottomans to suffer between 1 and 5 aggressive expansion relations penalty with 6 countries. So 1 and 5 is nothing. When it gets to be about 50 or more, that's when aggressive expansion gets really scary. Because what can happen is everybody who has that level can form a military coalition against you and join this huge mega war to attack you and bring you down from your oppressive regime. So be careful about that. But as long as you don't see any notifications that certain countries are going to hate you in particular, you're fine. Also note that we're not going to get any overextension because these are actually our places in the first place. So we're going to send demand, we're going to unpause, and bam! They are back in our country as they should be. And you can even see here, there's no unrest, no autonomy issues at all. These were already our places. We just took them back, darn it. They were ours in the first place. So we don't have to worry about any rebels or anything over there. Pretty nice. We're able to sweep in, take over those countries, and we are in good shape. So, yeah, I think we're just going to go back to recovering for a little bit here. Again, just trying to get you into the motions of how this game works out. You have a aggressive period where you can conquer some places, and then you have a recovery period where you're trying to get your country back in line, make sure everything is all hunky-dory, and then you go back to attacking again. But for now, I think I'm okay with just recovering. Let's make some things there. Oh, naval race versus Mamluks. That's done, so that's good. So all of our troops our navy is finishing being built. I'm just going to ignore the mission for a little bit. I kind of want to move on to teaching some other things, and I just want to kind of ignore it for a little while. So that's completely fine. I'm going to bring my navy back to my home territory, and I think I want to consolidate my navy. One of the nice shortcuts you can do is if you're holding control and you draw a box, it will only select ships. So by holding control, I'm selecting all the ships that we've made. You can even see over here, there's a little summary. It says that a lot of them are moving, which is exactly what we want. We're just going to move all the ships into here. We're going to get them consolidated into one single navy. One navy. Oh, this means war. Maybe not. Venetian claims on Maria. So we have Ottoman gains a diplomatic insult, Casus Belli. So they insulted us or we insulted them. Who knows? Either way, Venice doesn't like us. We don't like Venice. They're being jerks. So we have a Casus Belli against them or vice versa. Oh, another new technology. Hey, administrative technology. That's not bad. Let's take it. Bam. Look at that. We're technologically advanced. We got some cool stuff from it probably. Not really that important. All we know is we're advancing in technology. Something you definitely want to do. Let's take a look at our rebels again here. Yeah, there's still a small chance. As you can see, these are just generally ticking down over time. So this is at 0.8%. Not bad. These guys have 5.8%. So we've got plenty of chances there. But I will tell you this, there's actually a very easy shortcut you can do to help alleviate the unrest. So each province has a autonomy rating. You've heard me say it and gloss over it in the past, but I never really gave it too much detail. Autonomy is sort of how much of that country's or that province's inner workings are directly under your control versus sort of locally under control. The more it's under your control purely, the more beneficial that province is to you. That province is just so much more a really, truly core part of your country, and it makes them, more. As you can see here, with this place having 24% autonomy, I have reduced trade power, production efficiency, tax modifier, manpower. So you may not be able to tell exactly what these are, but you know that that's a lot of red things. And these things just generally continue to tick down as time goes on. The place becomes more and more integrated, more and more used to becoming part of the Ottoman Empire. But I want to give these guys an opportunity to be more autonomous to reduce their unrest. So you can see here, these guys have 8.4% unrest. I have this button here, increase autonomy. So if I give them more of that freedom, it will actually lower their unrest, and those rebels will go away. -10 unrest. That's a pretty big amount. There's actually a complete interface for that. If you go to the production interface and click on this, you can see all of the different provinces and how much of a rebellion they have. So you can see here, we have 8 unrest there. That's not good. So let's just grant these guys some autonomy. Bam! I grant these guys some autonomy. Just be like, okay, you know what? We'll just let you guys get your own stuff figured out for now, and I'm not going to bother you, and everything's going to be totally cool. So that should have significantly put a dent in our potential rebellions. And actually, you can see here, Balabadara -1.6%, Morea -4.1. So these are not only not in any risk of rebelling, but they're actually decaying. They're saying, okay, you know what? That's cool. You're just going to let us handle our own business. That's completely fine. Let's see here. Atina, you know what? Even though this is really, really close, I'm just going to go ahead and grant them their autonomy as well. Part of the reason that their unrest is low is because I have troops stationed there. So this will also allow me to move my troops around. So you know what? We're just going to grant them their autonomy. Done. So now that rebellion should be basically squashed as well. And eventually that autonomy will tick the other way and we'll get them better integrated into our own area. But hey, look at that. Just like that, we have no longer any risk of rebels, any serious risk of rebels. I'm just going to move my troops off just to prove the point. I'm going to have them all move out of the way. So, got a big event here. Let's see here. There's a lot of, let's see here. Lose piety, gain manpower, a bunch of pluses. Well, there's a lot of negatives. We don't really know what exactly all these are, but we're just going to take the one that has the most pluses. So, bam, look at that. We just took it. What was it? Who cares? It had a bunch of pluses and no negatives, so we took it. That is not bad. So we don't necessarily need to be recovering right here. You can actually see over here that the fate that was instilled on our former enemy, they were completely absorbed into this place, Dulkadir. So let's see here. Let's see what kind of allies we have. These guys are allied with Akkoyunlu. These guys are also allied with Akkoyunlu. Those are the guys that we just talked to a little bit ago. We remember them. What about Trebizond? Who are they allied with? They're allied with Theodoro and Circassia. Lots of different places. So the ability to conquer is getting a little more difficult. If we want to try to attack these places, we're going to have to deal with some potential allies. You can see here, these guys will bring in Akkoyunlu. If we declare our war here, these guys will also bring in Akkoyunlu, and we still have the ability to attack them. So these are more considerations to think of for your future conquests. And this is really the core of the gameplay. Making sure that you have the right to conquer, declaring your war, hopefully winning the war, and we'll get into more difficult wars as this series goes on. And once the war is over, taking what you want, and then recovering again, and going through the cycle. This game is a game about conquest. You can develop and expand your country in other ways, things that open up later, but especially right off the very beginning, especially playing as the Ottomans, you are a conqueror, and you should be doing a lot of conquering. So I think that's going to be it for this episode. Next episode, we're going to get into the ways to better finagle our sort of way into a war, as well as just expanding our knowledge of other game elements. So far, the game has flowed really nicely and helped me teach you the various elements of how to, sort of navigate the sort of ebb and flow of the game. But there are some things that I'm just going to have to particularly choose to talk about, and we'll probably get more into the meat of those in the next episode. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.